So this is a really cheap and basic transmitter for model aircraft. Now this is really as basic as it gets, and the ones I'm used to are programmable ones that allow you to do channel mixing, so you could fly helicopters. Also you do throttle curve, 6 or even 8 channel ones, and then you can do like memories and stuff for the trim. This is like, obviously there's none of that. It's as basic as it gets. So you basically load 6 AA batteries at the back. It's got this stand that allows you to, hopefully it doesn't break, stand the controller up like that. Don't know what the point of that is, because you want to be holding this while flying any aircraft. This one is, as you can probably guess, it's fixed in mode 2 configuration, so left hand throttle. You can't swap them around like you can with the more expensive ones. So let's just turn this on. I'll show you how basic this is before I show you what's inside. So you turn that on and it's binding with an aircraft. It's sending out the binding signal, and because it's a one-way system, it doesn't know whether it's actually bound to your speed controller or your receiver or not. And then you get this LCD display here, and it tells you what surface is being moved. So if I move the throttle up, it shows the propeller spinning. Now obviously this assumes that it's a 4-channel aircraft, so if I move the stick to the left and right, it shows the rudder moving. Now on the 3-channel aircraft, this does nothing at all, because the rudder is actually moved with the aileron stick rather than the rudder stick. And yes, you can see here, this one says it's moving the aileron and the elevator. And these are obviously the trims, no need to explain any of that. Yep, at least it makes a different sound to tell you it's been centered again. Not sure how many levels of trim we can do, but it doesn't matter. And that's basically it. There's nothing else to it. This thing here does nothing at all. I think the backlight only comes on when the throttle is on, which kind of makes a bit of sense. So this is only suitable for flying really cheap toy aircraft. Oh yeah, there are 2 buttons here. So this, depends on what the aircraft is set up to do, but that gives you a low and or high rate. So that's the control rate. Now this button here, that depends on what your aircraft is programmed to do when it gets this channel sent. So on mine, it turns the gyro stabilization on and off. Right, so let's have a look at what's actually inside one of these. So I'm going to put this one away. I'll show you exactly how cheap this device is. Now I've got the back unscrewed here, so I'm going to remove the cover, and as you can see, it's got this really cheap pair of red and black wires that are soldered directly to the battery compartment. This is as cheap as it gets, and just look at the way they're soldered. It's not even long enough to fully open this 180 degrees, and that goes to this board. Now this is the LCD display, so that's that little chip there that basically takes the input from this rudimentary sort of set of cables that's meant to be a ribbon cable, and it sort of interprets the signal and displays it on the LCD. Now if we look up here, this is really shocking. So this is the tiny 2.4 gigahertz antenna, so you can see how fine that wire is. So you don't want to be flying an aircraft too far away and lose control of it. And you can see this radio board that's driving it. It's got this really tiny chip on it, and all it does is it's taking the signal from the main board and sending it out in 2.4 gigahertz. And you can see all these really cheap wires connected to the momentary push button switches, and let's flip this circuit board around and see what's on the other side. I haven't actually done this before, so this is the first time. I'm going to slide the two input buttons out of the way. Okay, looks like we need to remove this because it's got that antenna wire soldered to it, and we need to remove this board as well. This board is just the that LED that shines through the red window. So that's the this little red LED here that tells you it's powered on. Now, one thing I want to say before I forget is the one thing I don't like with this controller is there's no safeguard on the power switch. So if you're flying your aircraft and if you accidentally do that, you're going to lose control of it, because if you turn it on again, it's going to take a few seconds to sort of reinitialize and reconnect to the aircraft. So that's, yeah, very dangerous. Thankfully the planes you're meant to fly with these are quite cheap. So we can see the front of the board here. So these are all just push button switches that control the trim. Alright, so what it is these are just rocker switches. So they rock these plastic bits back and forth, and as you rock them, they press either one of these buttons. That's the power switch. Now this is the throttle, and this is the other two channels. Interesting, if we look below it, they're actually mechanical potentiometers. Okay, so there's a sort of hardware trim as well as electronic trim. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but they're all set up in the factory anyway. Got a few capacitors there. Yeah, these are just potentiometers. Yeah, that one's not sprung. This one's got a spring attached in both axes, so it kind of returns to the center. So all that's driving the whole system is this little chip here. So I'm not very good at reading out the part numbers and telling you what they do, but that's probably something that's custom made for this device. The other two chips, not sure what they are, probably power regulators and stuff like that. Yep, that's it really. I guess this is a very good way to make ready to fly planes very easily accessible to beginners who want to learn how to fly aircraft and not take the risk of crashing them or losing them and wasting a whole lot of money. So if you're new to flying and you don't want to take a big risk of going hobby grade stuff, then get one of these Chinese toys. And I know I haven't mentioned where this came from. This is the WLtoys F949S, which is that little plane there. So this is one of those planes that you can't go wrong in. Yeah, it's a Cessna 182 with high wings and they're curved upwards, so it gives the plane a very low center of gravity. And with this sort of profile, the aircraft will have a tendency to level itself out. Also, this being the S version, has got a built-in gyroscope stabilization. So if you sort of move it around, the servos actually move the elevator and rudder to sort of correct the movement. So you can see the elevator link and rudder link there. So it's a very good aircraft for beginners. You can fly these, pretty much one of those things that can't go wrong with. Yeah, That's it anyway. Thanks for watching.